Hello guys, this is Elokasha here, and in today's video I am going to talk about how we talk about the past using the past simple tense. You guessed correctly. This is going to be a simple video, but I hope it will be also useful for more advanced students, as it is so important to get the basics right before you progress to more difficult things, okay? And let me tell you as well, the past simple is the second most commonly used tense in the English language, of course, after the present simple. So it is really, really important to get it right before you move on to learn more difficult things. Okay, so in today's video, I am going to tell you, first of all, the form of the past simple tense, the form, yes, how it looks like. Then I am going to tell you how to ask questions using the specific helping verb that comes with the past simple. And then the third situation is I am going to tell you when to use it, right? The four main situations in which we use the past simple. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, the form. The form of the past simple is quite easy in most cases, not in all cases, of course, probably know that. So what we do, we just add ed to a normal verb, okay, which is for example, in the present simple. So for example, I walk to school every day. Yeah, I walked to school yesterday. So it's ed, but it's pronounced as almost as t, right? I walked to school yesterday. Okay. Then, for example, I cook dinner for my family every night. Yes, I cook dinner every night. And in the past, it will be I cooked. Yes, I cooked dinner for my family yesterday. Okay, so cook, cooked. Walk, walked. Just two examples, right? I watch TV in the evenings, right? And I can say I watched TV last week. I watched again. So these are regular verbs. Quite easy, ed, and then you are flying. But unfortunately, English being English, there are quite a lot of so-called irregular verbs, and you have to learn them by heart, right? You have to memorize them. But my advice is do not memorize them in the tables, because you're likely to forget the different forms, right? When it comes to speaking, memorize them in sentences, right? So for example, I drive to town every weekend. I drive, this is the present, right? I drove, drove. I drove to town last weekend. Okay? We are at home now. We were at home yesterday. Okay? So are, were. Remember them like that. Compare them to the present, and it's much easier to memorize verbs in that way, right? I have a cup of coffee every morning, yes, and I had a cup of coffee this morning, yes. So that's so have, had. So try to learn them in that way, memorize them in that way. I hope that makes sense. So, okay, what we've covered so far. To form past simple, we add ed, right? So, watch, watched, walk, walked, cook, cooked. Yeah, in the past. Then, irregular verbs, you have to learn, but remember, learn them in a sensible way, right? In a meaningful way, in sentences. Try to memorize the form in comparison with the present tense. Yeah, that's my suggestion. Now, how do we ask questions? If you watched my video about asking questions, you will know that in English, in order to ask a question, you need something which is called a helping verb. And in the past simple, the helping verb is did. And good news is it's the same for all persons. So as the question will be, did you go? And it will be the same, did he go? So yes or no question. Did he go to the cinema yesterday? Did he go to the cinema yesterday? Yes, he did. Or maybe no, he didn't, right? And then the question with what, yes, or with when or where. The question with a question word will be, for example, where did you live as a child? Where did you live as a child? Yes, where did you live as a child? What did you do yesterday? Okay. Where did you drive? Yes, things like that. Why did you call me? Yeah, why did you call me? So it's did, and then it's the base form of the verb. We do not say, did you went? But did you go? Yeah. Okay, I hope that is clear. So, question word, then the helping verb did for past simple, and then the base form of the verb. Okay, cool. Now, when do we use past simple? Yeah. So generally, the main situation when we use the past simple is when we talk about activities which started and finished in the past. So they are started, they are finished, they are completed. No more, okay? So, and then we'll use time expressions such as maybe yesterday, last month, last weekend, last year, or in, let's say, 1999, or in the 15th century, right? So, different time expressions, but definitely about something that is past, completed, and finished, right? So, for example, what can we say about something that maybe we did last weekend? I visited my friends last weekend. I visited my friends last weekend. That could be an example. So something that is completed, right? For example, and something maybe from was a longer time ago, right? You can say, my parents met in 1975. Yes, my parents met. Okay, I went to France last year, for example. Okay, so this is started and finished and completed. Then we can also use this, and this is the most common usage for the past simple. We can also use it for series of events in the past. So, for example, I arrived at the airport, took a taxi, and then checked into a hotel. This is still about the past, still finished and completed, but we talk about a series of events, right? That happened at a specific moment in the past. Okay? Then we have a situation when something happened in the past but lasted for a period of time. So, for example, I lived in London. I can say that I lived in London for 5 years, for example, for 5 years. But, yes, I have to be more specific. So maybe from 2005 to 2010. Okay, I lived in London for 5 years in the past. I do no longer live in London. Yeah, so completed, finished, but lasted for some time in the past. And the last situation is when we talk about habits. So, for example, I climbed trees when I was a child, right? I played chess when I was at university. And